Hi, how you all doing? Welcome back to Borough Walk. It's 20 minutes of Middlesbrough chat, and we've got the Oxford result to chew over this week. Iling Junior played well. Nacho got some goals, and what does that mean for this Friday night at Blackburn? Some decisions to make for Carrick, and to chew all over that, we've got Sean, Jonathan, and Craig back with us. Thanks for joining us. Also coming up, we're looking at the Fair Play League in a second. Just where do the Borough sit in that? The answer to that might surprise you, and we're getting to the old club versus country. Would you rather see Borough win a cup or England do well in America next year? We'll get these guys' honest view on all of that, plus some tweets as well, praising Iling Junior. Finally, Sean, we can put some praise on his name. How good was he against Oxford?
He was very good, and I think we also have to acknowledge he's a young lad as well. You know, I know he's got a big reputation, come from a big club, played in the Champions League this season and scored, and I think the billing initially maybe sort of weighed a little bit heavy, but playing from that left back spot, he's gradually grew into his game, and his deliveries and his left foot were really, really, really impressive.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Nacho in a minute, Jonathan, but he's had some stick, hasn't he, Iling Junior, and I think rightfully so. Was it good to see him kind of put that behind?
Yeah, there's a knack of it in our team, isn't there? I've seen it a few times now where someone comes in, takes them 5 or 6 games, they get booed and hissed like a pantomime sort of thing, and then they start showing their true form. So, you know, you've got to give credit to whatever they do in the back room, in the coaching. You know, it seems to do the trick for a lot of players. You know, Whittaker for me came on and looked a very different player, looked very confident when he came on, his touch, you know, and his pace. So, yeah, I was pleased to see it, to be honest with you. And it echoed the whole second half, to be honest with you. It was like, you know, the way Iling Junior played was the whole team kind of emulated that in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good player in there, isn't there? Craig says, great win that. This team is still gelling. Iling Junior written off not so long ago. Best game for us. Nacho with that goal will keep him hungry. We could time it right and finish strongly for the playoffs. Michael adds, second half they played well. However, Oxford could have been 3 up at half time. I thought Iling Junior was really good today. However, Nacho can now come good. He looked more effective in that he in the middle, and Whittaker was promising, was still in it. And I can't believe somehow how you are still in it, to be honest, Craig, because given the results you've had, but this is looking a bit more promising, isn't it? 3 home games on the run now. It's starting to look good. Were we too quick to write off this side?
Who knows? I remember when we were talking at the end of February, and I think we'd done predictions for March, how many points we would get in March, and I didn't think we would get 5, like with the form we were in, and yeah, something's just clicked. I don't know whether it's that bit of resilience, backs to the wall, like we've had injuries, and it's like we said, we haven't had a centre back, so people have just had to fill in and just dig in. So maybe that's contributed to it, but we're in there, yeah, definitely.
A couple of players we need to mention, House and Sean. Continues to roll back the years.
He's just fantastic, and we've mentioned on here before what a leader he is, but I think it's only fair to mention his fitness as well. I mean, you know, we shouldn't write players off in their 30s. Players really look after themselves, but over that first sort of 5 or 10 yards, Howson's really still sort of zippy, and there was a lot of recoveries he made in that game, and yeah, he's been fantastic for us.
Travers as well, Jonathan. I mean, we seem to talk about him every single week, but so many tweets saying sign him up. He's got to be the first signing we make in the summer. Crikey, Dieng's not going to get a look in, is he?
No, shot stopping, isn't it? So that's the big difference. So, you know, Dieng's not a shot stopper. Well, statistically, he was down bottom half of the goalkeepers in the Championship. Travers is. And every game, he's a save or 2 in him that's preventing a goal. So, you know, it's good to see. I like it. And, yeah, I agree with everyone who says we should be trying to sign him up. I don't know what his situation is. I don't know how Bournemouth view him. I don't know what his wages look like. But yeah, there must be an option for us to at least have a sniff around there and try and get him on a more permanent basis.
Yeah. What would you do then, Craig, on Friday against Blackburn? We'll talk more about that game in a minute. But he's got some big decisions to make here now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think the base of it you would like to go unchanged, but I think as well, I just, again, even though Nacho scores on Saturday, I don't see what he brings. Like, he hit the bar from 6 yards out. He lost the ball a dozen times in the match. He doesn't hold it up. He's got no pace. He doesn't cover ground. He doesn't really create. Like, and I know he scored, and you want your strikers to score, but it was kind of like playing with 10 men, and he's been like that since he signed for us. So away at Blackburn, I would like to play, if McGree's fit, maybe put McGree in there to create a little bit. But yeah, that's the one change I would probably make in Nacho.
We've all talked about Carrick out in recent weeks. Bob says here, I can't keep up. Are we Carrick in or Carrick out now? You can help me out with that in a minute. And I like R saying, Nacho, you deserve a burger or two after that one. So Sean, where are we? Where are we now? I think most of you have been Carrick out in the last month or so. Are we now back Carrick in?
Well, look, I think even if you thought it was the end of Carrick's tenure because of the form, I think we all sort of knew that the likelihood was he was going to stick with him until the end of the season. And there's no getting away from it. It was fortunate. I think through January and February, we won 1 in 8. So to still be in touch after that kind of run, it's basically because all the other teams around us are very much the same. You look at... I think Blackburn have won like 2 in 9, Norwich 2 in 9, West Brom 2 in 8. So, none of us really want it. And bizarrely, we're in this situation where we actually have a little bit more momentum than a lot of those around us. I mean, Coventry have been on a really good run, but they've got some tough fixtures coming up. So I think we've just got to stick with it and have that belief. I mean, there's another conversation if we don't make the playoffs. I think that would represent a massive failure, but we've just got to get behind him, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night then, not a great fixture for Borough fans to travel to Ewood Park. Jonathan, there's going to be lots of protests from Blackburn fans during that game. They described the ground as it's going to be toxic because, especially if the owners show up. Was this a good time to play them, do you think, given that the new managers come in and they've got 1 point from 5 games so far?
It would seem so, wouldn't it? Based on their form and their recent results and the fans' discontent, it would seem it's a very good time to play them. So, and I dare say we sold a few more tickets for Blackburn away after Saturday's result as well. So I'd expect a decent turnout from the Borough fans on Friday night. So, yeah, on paper, absolutely ideal time to play them. But Michael Carrick will be in the interview and he'll tell you they're dangerous, they're well prepared, and we are prepared to play. He'll give us a lot of words to describe how difficult the game is going to be.
And then Leeds, then Craig, the week after that. Now, Burnley and Sheffield United have already been on at me to make sure that you give them a game, which you did in the Carabao Cup, of course, early in the season, but. This probably represents your hardest fixture left in terms of your run-in, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, when I looked at the table on Saturday night and I seen that they'd dropped to second, I was like, what? I thought they were like point clear and I thought they'd run away with it, and then their form's dipped. And you're thinking, as kind of like the pressure hit them a little bit, that their form's dipped and we're on a bit of a run. So, so could we nick something off them? And it'll be a good atmosphere under the lights on Tuesday night. They're a quality team, aren't they? We have to show up basically. We can't have any players on a 7. Everyone has to be an 8 out of 10 to get something from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sean, everyone is pointing out the last day of the season at Coventry. Your old buddies, of course, in this playoff kind of race. So fate would dictate it's going to come down to that game.
Yeah, it looks a bit like that, doesn't it? I think trying to avoid cliches a little bit, but I still think we need to beat Blackburn to give ourselves that buffer because Leeds won't be easy, and I think there's a few demons to exercise in that Leeds game. The reverse fixture earlier on in the season, we sort of gifted them the goals and stuff, and we really gifted them the 3 points through our own mistakes. We don't mind being played off the park, but we handed it to them on a plate. So, I do think it's going to go to the wire. You don't play football on paper, but I would say, apart from that Leeds game, the only other team we play in the top 6 is Coventry. And some of our rivals have got tougher games, perceivably. But it's sort of in our hands now, which is quite scary.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I've always said that you'd be up there, and I did start to wonder whether it's going to be a mid-table one, but good to see there are Boro back in there. Absolutely. The Fair Play League is something we want to show you because there's been some suggestions over recent weeks, especially during those bad times, that Boro just aren't nasty enough with fouls, with the dark arts and so on. So we thought we'd have a look at the data to see whether that was true or not. I mean, Jonathan, you watch your team week in, week out. Do you watch a team that's a little bit powder puff, dare I say?
I don't know about powder puff. Mistakes, I think. There was that. I don't know. I see a lot of effort, but you're right. I don't want to say anything now because you're going to put a table up. I'm going to say. I'm going to say, I don't think we'll be giving much away, and I think we'll be low on points in terms of the Fair Play League. But
you're absolutely spot on. Yeah. That's the wrong one. Sorry, I got the wrong one up. There we go. That's the worst. That's the worst players. There we go. That's the right one. There you go. You are fourth. You are the fourth best in terms of cards. Leeds at the top, Coventry, Oxford. And there you are. So that kind of backs up the point, Craig, a little bit, doesn't it? That you aren't nasty enough. 56 yellow cards. That's the lowest in the entire division in terms of yellow cards. Two red cards, of course. I can't remember exactly who they were for. But you'll be able to remember those two, brings you up to 62. So yeah, this would completely back up those claims, Craig, wouldn't it? That Boro are a bit soft these days. Where's that hard tackling Boro used to watch under Juninho and Yakubu and
Pogatetz?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I wish we had someone like that. Honestly, the amount of times this season people have strolled through midfield. And even if they've passed Balassa or Hackney or Morris even, and you're like, just take him down, pull him down and take a yellow for the team to stop the break. Oh God, it's so frustrating because it's just them little cynical fouls, isn't it, that stop breaks. And that run we went on from about December to February, the amount of where they just ran through the midfield straight onto defence and shots were flying in all over the place. We were getting hammered. And I was thinking that can be stopped by just clip his heels, pull his shirt, do something. But I've done my head.
Do you agree, Sean? Do you think you are missing that kind of midfield, kind of nasty warrior that does all those kinds of,
definitely. Definitely. That, like the lads have said, at the risk of sounding a bit old-fashioned, I love when a ball breaks in the middle and someone just smashes into a 50-50 and shows that heart and determination. But I can only really think of Howson that would really fly into that kind of tackle. I mean, we have the likes of Hackney, who's brilliant on the ball. He's more likely to sort of pull someone's shirt back or do a silly one or whatever. We don't really have that sort of blood and thunder player. We're very cultured on the ball, but like the lad said, sometimes I just wish we'd actually, be a bit more cynical and a bit more nasty and let people know that they're in a game.
Okay. All right, then we will move on from this topic. Thank you very much. Before we finish, do drop us a quick subscribe and a quick like if you haven't already. We'd love to get to 100 subscribers before the end of the season. That'd be absolutely amazing. Thanks for all your support over the last 35 weeks now. We've been discussing Boro. It's even aged me. Look at that. I didn't have the grey hair before we started this. The international break also throws up one last debate, which is always interesting to get your views on club versus country. You're all passionate Boro fans, and I know you're passionate England fans as well. But if you had the choice, you can only see one of those teams' list of trophy in your remaining lifetime. Which one would it be, Jonathan?
Well, I do like it when England do well at a major tournament. I do like the buzz around the place, I have to say. And I've got some very memorable occasions. I always remember England playing Argentina in 2002 in Japan, and we were in the pub from 9 a.m. That was a fantastic day. But no, it's Boro all the way for me. I always put Boro, wanting to see them lift the trophy ahead of England. As much as I enjoy England, but no, Boro.
Okay. Craig?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the memories I've got from Cardiff from the Carling Cup. When we went up last game of the season against Brighton, I know it was like we went up as runners up, but they still lifted like some daft little trophy to go up as seconds. When we won the league under Robson, like that's your bread and butter, isn't it? I'd love my kids. I'd love to take them to like a cup final and have the memories of that day. It'd be unbelievable.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'd echo all of that. You know, it's your home club is something a little bit different, a little bit special. As much as we'd like England to win something, I don't think you still have the same level of engagement as a club lifting a trophy. And thanks for letting us all just talk about the fact that we won that League Cup way before the Geordies anyway. So absolutely. Yeah, you won't have seen actually Sky Sports on Saturday, but just in case you'd missed it, there was more coverage of that bus parade than there was of your game against Oxford, which was scandalous and shocking. There we go. That's Sky Sports for you. Right, thank you very much, you three. We will catch you back, of course, after this weekend's game. We will see how you progress. Catch us then. Sorry, I'm going to have to re-record. I've just forgotten who you're playing this weekend. I'm trying to rack in my brain for it.
Blackburn.
I've already said Blackburn. It's Friday night, yes. Good luck against Blackburn on Friday night. See what you're doing to me. Cheers for watching.